Today I'm going to show you how to put a cord onto an oven or range. Now you say, but this is a sound effects channel. Yes, I do sound effects too. I'm also an audio engineer, but my full-time job that pays the bills is being an electrician. So today I'm going to show you how to properly attach the cord to a range. So we'll come around back over here. We'll see if this will just set down nicely. So the first thing that you have to understand when you are wiring up a stove is whether you have a 3-wire system or a 4-wire system. The reason this is important is because we have this little thing here called a bonding jumper, which I will show you inside the wiring compartment in a minute. If you have a 4-wire system, which means that you have 4 prongs on the plug like this, and your outlet has 4 prongs, then you need to remove this grounding jumper or bonding jumper. If you don't, your stove can shock you from time to time, which is not a pleasant thing. Just a general disclaimer, if you're not an electrician and electricity scares you, you should stop the video right here and call an electrician. At all times, make sure you turn off the circuit breaker before working on any circuits live, and obviously if you're ever working on a plug or you're changing out the plug, make sure you unplug the appliance first. That would not be a pleasant surprise. Now, the first interesting thing about this particular stove is that to get the cover off is this wonderful little screw here that is a star bit. Why they did that? Probably to keep people from going into it who don't know what they're doing. Here. So we'll take this cover off. It's the only screw that keeps you from being electrocuted. So, as we go into here, you can see, I'll show you the wiring compartment. You have your black connection, your red connection, which are your 2 hots for your 240 load, and then your neutral. And this fun little guy right here is your bonding jumper. And in our case, our cord is a 4-prong cord to a 4-prong outlet, which means we need to take that little jumper out of there. All right, so to remove this bonding jumper, we need to take this out of here. Good. It's just 2 screws. It's that, which we still need this because it's gonna ground out our device. And this guy right here. And there we go. Take that off like that. Take the bonding jumper out. And obviously you need to put the neutral back on. So you do need to make sure that these connections are nice and tight, because loose connections are the #1 cause of electrical fires. Once again, if you are not comfortable with this, you really should be calling an electrician. There, that's on there nice and tight. And I'm just gonna nitpick for just a second and make it nice and straight. These 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, is your hot, your neutral, your other hot, your red, and then your ground is going to go right there. So let's come on over here, and as you can see our cord, we just have to take this thing apart. Okay, we now get the cable all apart. I would just like to show you the retainer clip here. I do not like the one that comes with the cord. I prefer to use a 3/4 inch Romex clamp. And so you take the clips. Let me just see if I can set this where we can see what's going on. Put it right there. It's exactly the right size. There's a little lock nut on the back. Just tighten that on. And if you really want to, take your lineman, tighten this down just a little bit. So if you haven't put these on before, pretty much what I just did was this little lock nut on the back. I just made it nice and tight. Now the cord. Try to do this with the camera here. The cord will quite nicely go right through there. And just so you can come back over here and see how much I come through, just a little bit, and that kind of puts those like right where they need to be. So you go here, and then you just tighten these down a bit here. Not too tight, but I do believe it's one. There's two. That holds that on there nice and tight. Okay, so here we go. I don't mind taking these guys off with the impact, so we're going to start with our hot, which is up here, our first hot. Well, okay. So technically, sorry, the electrician in me just just kicked in here just now. You really want to start with the ground, because the ground is back here. Give it a nice little bend so that it is there. Let's get our ground screw started. That's the one that we took out of there. Good. Notice I didn't tighten it down too tight there, but I will take a screwdriver here. Just make sure she's nice and tight. Good. Okay, and I just noticed I bounced you out of screen. So in putting the ground in there, get the ground in first. You notice a nice little bend there. Fits, is perfect. All right, now let's go to our first hot. And I like to start at the bottom and work my way up. So I'll take this one off. And I'll get that right in there. You can bend it which way you want. Make sure she sits flat. Like that. Once again, nice and tight. Should be no movement. Good. There's our red in. We'll do our white. There's the white, and our black will go up top here. Take them off. Once again, nice and tight. Now, good. Make them look nice. Make sure they're tight. Everything's good. Also, could just give all of these guys up here, just make sure they're nice and snug. Good. it. All right, and that's it. I like to turn the breaker off before plugging it in. Obviously, we gotta put the cover back on there, and we are good to go. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm curious, if you're an electrician and you do these regularly, do you prefer using a Romex connector? I used a 3/4 inch there. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, most important thing, follow that wiring diagram. If you have a 3-wire or 3-prong plug, you leave the bonding jumper in. If you have a 4-wire, you take it out so people don't get shocked. I hope that this was helpful. Please leave a like or a comment. It certainly helps out the channel. If you're interested in the tools that I used for this, I'll leave links in the description, as well as some links to other tools that I use in the trade. Have a great day.